Fire and Maneuver is an up-and-coming strategy game about the late linear warfare era, and one that I am very excited about. The game can be compared to a less fluid and turn-based version of a Total War game, which I actually prefer to Total War since my pea-brain can't handle real-time battle, allowing you to decide what formations your troops will be in, if they'll shoot or charge, etc. Naturally, if you're a China fan like me, you would look if there's any way to play a Chinese nation in the game. But as the armchair historian is probably too busy to read thousands of pages about the Taiping Rebellion, there is no Qing nation in the game yet. Do not fret, however, for the game does have quantity-based nations, which is just as good as having the Qing dynasty itself. So to get a feel of the true Qing experience in Fire and Maneuver, I've played these two quantity-based nations to see the true power of strength and numbers in the game, as well as seeing how a Chinese nation army might work. First, the Russians. Some stuff I liked about the Russians were that they were a very professional force, despite being this sort of mass warfare-based nation. The cannons they had were very good. They were very powerful in being able to break even elite enemy units. And alongside that, they had very disciplined units as well. The infantry, even the militia, would be able to withstand being fired upon by more elite units, which made them very effective in the battle. And of course, they had very cool uniforms, which I always like. The only thing I really didn't like was that it wasn't very Chinese or mass charge based as I would like the nation to be. I felt much more tactical and commanderish while doing it, trying to preserve my units rather than just throwing them all into the battle. That's the only downside, I'd say, if you can call it a downside. Next up, the Ottomans. I liked the Ottomans much more than the Russians, honestly. I felt that they were much more Chinese-like, if you could even rate that on a scale. But I suppose they just had the mass charge feel that I wanted. I could just push all my units forward. I didn't really have to care about what unit was there. If there were like elite regiments, where to put those and where to put the cannons and whatnot. I just pushed them all forward in a sort of line, and I had fun with that. And even then, they had very good elite units. Like they have a very cheap sort of ranged unit that can shoot across one tile. They can shoot 2 tiles ahead. That unit was very effective in being able to control the battle and minimize the casualties I took. The only thing I didn't like, which I probably should expect because this comes as a byproduct of the things I do enjoy about the nation, is that the units break very fast. So if they're left without any orders and fired upon, they'll just quite immediately disintegrate and you'll lose control of them. And that's how most of your casualties will be obtained in the battle if you're playing as the Ottomans. Even if you're performing very well, you're bound to lose, 50 to 40% of your fighting force just because you have too many units and a lot of them are just sitting ducks. Overall, seeing these two nations and the fire and maneuver mechanics related to quantity-focused warfare, for example, charging and grouping, it's given me high hopes for how a Qing nation could work in the game, seeing that crappy infantry units won't disintegrate after getting shot once. How I would design a Qing nation is perhaps we have a wide assortment of melee infantry units that can focus on stuff such as offensive charge, defense against charges, anti-cavalry, just a decently wide array of traits that might be useful for warfare in the game. And add on some strong cavalry units and shoddy cannon units, and I think you have a very solid Qing nation there. Qing aside, I'd also strongly recommend the game for all tactical and strategy game fans to download, even if you're not interested in the historical period. It's really not difficult to pick up, and you can have a lot of fun with the game. I sincerely wish that people will go and download this game and help it have a strong release, so that we may encourage Armchair Historian to bless us with the Qing nation in the future.